It seems like it was forever ago that we were all huddled around our computer screens trying to find Brian Laundrie. People were looking in the bushes everywhere people went. They saw Brian Laundrie lookalikes. It got to the point that people thought that Brian was buried in his parents' backyard and that they were feeding him food through the ground. It got really wild. But even though so much time has passed since we were all talking about that case, new details are still trickling out. Details that paint a clearer picture of what actually happened and when what happened actually happened. You see, one of the main questions for the longest was, did Brian's parents know? Did Brian's parents know that he killed Gabby when he was driving back home in her van? When he made it home, did they know? That was the question that was on everyone's mind for a long, long time. Now, we know the answer to that question. They knew. And as most of you all probably know by now, Gabby Petito's parents are suing the Laundries and their lawyer, Stevie Two-Time Bertoloni. They're claiming that Brian Laundrie's parents knew the whole time. They said nothing. They even wished them luck in finding Gabby, knowing that Gabby was dead. But now new details are coming out. There's new documents that are coming about in court, and from the looks of it, it looks as if the Laundries retained a high-powered defense team for Brian Laundrie. They retained a high-powered defense team for Brian Laundrie. When did they do that? Well, the timetable's kind of odd. They retained this defense team about 2 weeks before Gabby was even reported missing. So by the time that Gabby was reported missing, not only had the Laundries contacted to text Bertolino, not only were they in contact with him, but they had a whole entire defense team set up for Brian, which would lead anyone to believe that these people must have known, right? I mean, that's no big surprise. But this is going to be fought out in court. Now, I have not been updating you all on every little thing that happens in this case. But when big things arise, I'll talk about it. We're still waiting for a lot of things to happen here. It's going to take a while. But they're still fighting in court, trying to pretend like they didn't know this, they didn't know that. But it's evidently clear that they do know, or they did know. Before the girl was even reported missing, they knew that she was dead. From the looks of things, allegedly. But let me go ahead and go forward and read to you all a little bit from this article. Brian Laundrie hired Wyoming lawyer who defended Osama bin Laden bodyguard in Guantanamo Bay. New lawsuit filing reveals Wyoming law firm took on Laundrie as a client 9 days before Gabby Petito's mother reported her missing. Brian Laundrie retained a high-powered defense team in Wyoming with his parents' money more than a week before his fiancée Gabby Petito was reported missing, according to the latest complaint filed in the Petito family lawsuit against the Laundrie, or against Brian Laundrie's parents and their attorney. Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt alleged that Chris and Roberta Laundrie and their attorney, Stevie Two-Text Bertolini, knew Petito was dead, as well as the location of her remains, but gave Petito's parents false hope that she'd be found alive. all while attempting to protect their son, causing severe emotional distress. The new document, filed Thursday, claims that Laundrie told his parents in a frantic call on August 29, 2021, that Gabby was gone and that he needed a lawyer. On September 2nd, according to the document, 2021, Laundrie's parents relayed that information to Bertolino and sent him a retainer. That same day, the filing states Bertolino entered into a fee agreement with Fleener Peterson LLC, a criminal defense firm about 6 hours from where Petito's remains were found. Just 2 weeks before Petito's murder, witnesses in Utah called the police to report seeing Laundrie put his hands on her in public. The Wyoming firm's partner, Tom Fleener, is an Army veteran who became a JAG lawyer and was profiled in GQ in 2017 for representing Guantanamo Bay detainee Ali al-Bahul. Fleener declined to comment on the Laundrie matter. Bertolino confirmed Friday that he did collect a $25,000 retainer from the Laundries and he used it to pay Fleener Peterson. He said that he has not collected any payment from the Laundries for his legal role in the saga. Bertolino also contacted other firms in the state, including a public defender in Teton County where Petito's remains were recovered. So the fact that they're trying to contact and retain these lawyers all right around where Gabby's body was found, that's very telling. Now, Bertolino claims that he has not seen a single red cent from this situation. And I know a lot of people hate Bertolino, okay? Stevie 2 text Bertoloni. I know a lot of people don't like the guy. But I'll be damned. Man, that family put this man through a lot for him not to be making any money. I kind of feel bad for him. Not only did you go through all of this nonsense with this case, which was largely his fault, a lot of it was his fault. He did everything he could to help the Laundries, even though we could argue it was the wrong thing to do, but he's a lawyer, right? But he hasn't gained anything. And now he's getting sued. But, I mean, the information's right there. You're not going out and trying to get these high-powered legal teams if you have no idea that your son did anything. Obviously, they knew what was up, if you ask me. If you ask me. But what I find most interesting about this is that this lets us know that in the opening days, Brian was battling with what he was going to do. You know, I was always thinking that there was a possibility that Brian had his mind made up for a while that he was going to take himself out. He was going to travel home, have that last little hoorah with his family before ending himself. Okay? That's what I was thinking. That was a possibility. Looking at this new information makes you think that Brian was possibly going to try to fight this. Or at the very least, Brian's parents wanted to try to fight this as opposed to what Brian winded up doing. So this makes you look at that whole little RV trip that they took. It makes you look at it in a different light. Mind you, all of us have kind of been looking at it like, oh, they knew all along. But now that it's confirmed, you can go back to certain periods and certain things that happened as we watch this case play out, and you have to look at it differently. Or you can reaffirm how you already felt, because now, looking at that last little RV trip, it's really eerie. Because now we know by that time, the Laundries had already tried to get a defense team for Brian. By the time, they were out there having this last little trip and hoorah, they had already tried to get a defense team for Brian. So it doesn't look like they were in the dark. It looks like they went on this trip knowing that their son had killed Gabby. I mean, obviously, they maybe didn't know that their son would wind up in a swamp somewhere, a week or so later, but that's how things played out. But yeah, this is just giving us a clearer picture of how everything transpired and when these events transpired. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous and you want to support the channel, you can donate to the channel directly via Cash App. I will have my Cash App in the pinned comments of this video. Or you can support the channel via Super Thanks. Or, for totally free, you can support the channel by sharing this video on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, sharing it with friends and family, making sure that you're subscribed and you ring that notification bell so you can be notified of my next upload, which will be coming soon. But anyways, I'll talk to you all on the next one.